right, 9 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Wednesday morning. Bill Henderson is on the phone. Bill is a health and wellness reporter. He's written a book called Cancer Free, Your Guide to Gentle, Non-Toxic Healing. And usually I try to come up with a more colorful way to introduce our guests. I can't imagine anything that doesn't spell it out as much as that simple title and subtitle. Bill Henderson, good morning, Bill.
Good morning. How are you, Larry?
Pretty good. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from San Francisco, actually. We're on a trip here, visiting some relatives. Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
All right. Well, thank you for getting up early all the way out on the West Coast.
Yeah.
So we've heard different things about cancer. One of the things that always stuck with me was about the acidity versus what's the opposite of acidity, Robin? I can't remember.
Alkalinity.
Alkalinity, thank you. Yeah, and so does this have anything to do with alkalinity?
Yeah, it does, actually. When we talk about dental toxins, I think that's the subject, isn't it?
Yes, we have. We're talking about dental toxins and about your book, Cancer Free.
Sure.
Well, dental toxins. Oh, you mean as in the mercury that we got when we were kids in the fillings?
Well, that's part of it.
Okay.
Probably not as bad as root canal filled teeth and cavitations where you've had wisdom teeth out and so on. But all these dental issues in our mouth cause acidity in our body, but they also affect the organs in our body. The relationship between our teeth, where you either have teeth or have had them removed, is very intimate with certain organs in our body. Every one of the 32 spots in your jaw is connected to certain organs. And, most dentists really don't realize this, unfortunately, and they do a lot of work on our mouth that causes all kinds of physical problems. And I have, talked to well over 5,000 people all over the world about their cancer in the last 15 years.
Right.
And they've taught me that this is one of the major reasons people get cancer.
Really?
And until they get their jaw cleaned up, they don't get over it. I mean, it's about that simple.
Okay. Well, that would imply that there was really not a whole lot of cancer before we started having sophisticated dental procedures. Am I right?
Well, yeah. The rate of cancer has grown from 4 people in 100 back in early 1900s to now 43 in 100. Okay, so I mean it's gone 10 times more than it was back 100 years ago. Well, why is that? Well, one of the major reasons is the dental work that's been done. The root canal filled teeth were researched back in the early 1900s and found that there was no safe way to do a root canal filling. But that study has been ignored by the American Dental Association and the Association of Endodontists, who are the dentists who do root canals, basically about 7,000 of them in the United States.
What are root canals filled with?
Well, they're filled with gutta percha usually. Basically what they do is take out the center portion of the tooth, which is where the nerve is, and of course, something surrounding it. And they fill it up with kind of a rubbery substance called gutta percha. Used to be used inside golf balls many years ago. But,
oh my!
The dentists still use that. It's a way to block the circulation through the tooth. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't work. And this was proven. In 1923, the study was published. That there's no way to stop the circulation. The circulation itself is not there. But there's no way to keep the bacteria in the teeth from mutating into what are called anaerobic bacteria, which are those that don't require oxygen, because the tooth with a root canal filling in it has no oxygen circulating through it, and the bacteria, become these anaerobic bacteria, which are extremely toxic. So, nobody should ever have one of these done, but, there's
Okay, so
every year.
I guess a couple questions. I'll just ask them both at once. Can somebody who has that in their root canal have it removed? And is there a new, better way of doing this?
Well, there's no way to fix a tooth that has. See, the reason they do a root canal filling is because the cavity in the tooth has invaded the center portion where the nerve is, and it would be way too painful to do a regular filling. So instead of that, they deaden the tooth by taking out the nerve in the center, and that's what a root canal filling is. Well, it's like taxidermy of the jaw is what the dentists that I work with call it. It's as if you crushed your finger in the door and the doctor took out all of the flesh and the bone in it and filled it up with straw and sewed it back up again and said, you're fine now. It's ridiculous, but it should never be done. But in order to save the tooth, which is the way dentists are trained, they do this procedure. And unfortunately, it is very toxic. It is the cause of lots of problems, heart disease, fibromyalgia.
Okay, so if you don't mind, I want to squeeze in a few questions. So you're saying we shouldn't get root canals ever because there's no better alternative?
Never, ever. I would never have a dentist do a root canal on me. Pull the tooth out, get rid of the tooth, and clean up the socket that it comes out of, and then do something if necessary to fill up that hole. Okay. But don't do a root canal filling.
Is cancer the only thing we can trace back to? Not that it's cancer is a huge thing, but can we trace other problems to that same thing?
Yeah, any chronic degenerative condition, the first thing I would have examined is my mouth, as a source of toxins, because, that's what causes heart disease and all kinds of things. Yeah. And unfortunately, doctors don't know anything about what I'm telling you here. My experience is somewhat unique, not totally unique, but there are clinics in the world. One of them is in Switzerland, Paracelsus Clinic, where every cancer patient that comes there gets their jaw cleaned up first before they get treated for cancer, because they know what I know. Basically, the jaw is the major problem usually.
So the book is called Cancer Free, Your Guide to Gentle Non-Toxic Healing. So I'm guessing with 50 seconds left in the show, if we get the book, we'll have some instructions on what to do and at least get to read your thoughts on this?
Yeah, sure. It's easy to get it. It's a website called Beating, BEATING, and then a hyphen, cancer-gently, GENTLY.com. Okay. Lots of information there that's free, but the book's available as a download ebook or a printed copy, whichever.
Robin actually makes it easy. We will take this recorded interview and put it on Facebook and attach to that the website, beatingcancergently.com. Put a hyphen between those three words, beating-cancer-gently. Bill, thank you for the good information, and thank you for getting up early to talk to us today.
Yeah, thank you, Larry. I appreciate it very much.
All right, we'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA.
I'm Lillian Wu. The head of the EPA heads to Colorado for a first-hand look at a mine spill disaster.
The Gold King mine spill, accidentally unleashed by EPA workers, poured 3 million gallons of mine waste into the Animas River and has sparked an emergency declaration in 2 states. The 100-mile plume has traveled through parts of Colorado, New Mexico, and Utah.
Fox Radio's Tanya J. Powers. As many as 100 commercial truck drivers may have gotten their licenses through bribes, according to federal officials.
DMV worker Emma Clem and trucking school owner Kulwinder Singh have each pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit bribery and identity fraud. 2 other DMV workers and 2 other trucking school operators have been arrested on similar charges.
Fox Radio's Pat O'Neill. And the second man charged in the theft of $150,000 in cash mistakenly left behind by ATM workers in New Jersey last month, now in custody. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Geico applauds your inner happy camper.
A merit badge of awesomeness goes out to the part of you that wants to put the recreation in recreational vehicle. The part of you that packs up everything and everybody in the RV and says, let's get this show on the road. Because Geico has specialized agents who help save money on more than just car insurance. Geico will insure that entire RV, so you can get the s'more making, poison ivy dodging, same song singing, ghost storytelling, campfire building, best time you ever had with your family show on the road.
Geico for your RV. See how much you could save.
Overturned truck blocking the carpool lane, freeway construction slowing everything down. I travel for work. News like that used to ruin my whole day until I discovered Citrix Go to